Oh, got the camera going here. So we're gonna start section 2-3. And again, it's similar to what we were doing before, but a little bit different. Okay, so I mean, if I was to give you something such as this, if I gave you, how does this go? If I give you this, don't write this down.
Okay.
If I asked you to solve that,
Oh, that-
how would we solve that?
The same way that you would solve it.
Subtract what? Subtract what to each side? 4. You minus 4 to each side. Don't write this down. We need to have x is less than 4. And then do you guys like that, the way it's written, or not?
Yeah.
We like to have x on the left, okay? And then what kind of at 4 would I have, an open dot or a closed dot?
Okay.
Open and shade to the
Left.
left. Okay? Now that's old stuff. Today, it's gonna, so to get rid of addition, we subtract, and to get rid of subtraction, we add. We know that. The way you get rid of things is by doing the opposite. Well, question number, was it 3 or 5? Question number 3. Question number 3, this is question number 3. Go ahead and write this one down. It doesn't say 4 plus x. It says 4x is less than 8.
It's
Okay?
times.
You still need to get rid of the 4, but I heard somebody say it.
Times.
You divide by 4.
It's times, so you, yeah.
It's times, so you divide. Divide 4, divide 4. These cancel. X is less than 8 divided by 4, which is 2. Okay? So,
Oh.
we're not going to have an open dot at 4. We're going to have an open dot at 2 and shade to the left. Okay? So, what we were doing in the last section was we had addition and subtraction problems, and the way we solved addition and subtraction is by subtracting and adding. Now we have multiplying divide problems. How do we solve multiplying problems? By dividing. How do we solve divide problems? By multiplying. Okay? So we get question number 5. So as long as you remember the way you get rid of things is by doing the opposite, there's nothing new other than one little thing. Negative 20 is less than or equal to. Negative 20 is less than or equal to 10n. 10n. Okay, so in this case, you want to get n by itself. You got to get rid of the 10 by dividing by 10. Right, divide by 10. Negative 20 divided by 10 is negative 2. These cancel. Now, there's nothing wrong with that answer, but the computer even has, does it say n? No, it doesn't even have that. It just says you can type it in. We like to have the variable first. So make it really, really simple.
And
The left side moves to the right side. The right side moves to the left side, and the inequality symbol flips.
switches.
That way you have your variable first. It's a whole lot. If you leave it like this, am I going to mark you wrong on your test?
Yeah.
No, I'm not, but it's easier if you do that. Then we have negative 2, closed dot, and shade to the right. Okay? Let's look at number 7. And again, there is one thing we have to talk about. We haven't gotten into it yet. X over 2 is bigger than negative 2. X over 2 is bigger than negative 2.
These are easy.
Yep. Okay, so in this case, we have to get rid of this 2. How are we going to get rid of the 2 this time?
Times.
Well, how come times?
Because it's opposite.
It's dividing. So we put times 2 times 2. These cancel. We're left with x is bigger than negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4. And we have negative 4 open,
Opened up more.
shade to the right.
These are easy.
Mm-hmm. X is bigger than negative 4. Hoping that the thing we need to talk about is coming up here real soon. Not yet.
Are they all gonna be like this?
Similar, yeah, okay, good. It's coming up after this next question. All right, this next one. There's lots of students struggle with this next type of question. If you remember when I did teach you this when there were equations, and I said at the time what I don't like about this program is they don't give you enough practice. Adam, what does that say? 4/5 W? 4/5 W. They don't give you enough practice. They only give you like 3 or 4 questions that we did like this. So in this case, we have to get rid of the the 4/5. Okay? Now, what we could do is this. We're timesing by 4/5, so we could divide by 4/5. We could do that, but the way I taught you was if you have a fraction that you have to get rid of times the variable, the way you get rid of it is not by timesing, and not by dividing, but by timesing by the reciprocal. We times by 5/4. We times by
So just
5/4.
flip it.
Right, we times by flipping it. Because if we do that, these 4's cancel and the 5's cancel, and we're left with just W.
And then you
Okay.
do that side.
Now I would do this. I'm going to make 20 a fraction.
Over one, yeah.
Over 1. We times our tops. 5 times 20 is 100.
Over
over 4 times 1 is 4,
Which is
and 100 divided by 4 is 25. Okay, I don't like the way that's written. I'm going to say instead of 25 is bigger than W, I'm going to say W is less than or equal to 25. And then 25 is closed and shade to the left. Okay, let me get rid of this one. Now, when we get to number 11, I told you guys there's one thing that's new, and here it is on number 11, okay? It says, it's nothing big, it's just it's very simple, but it's also very simple to forget about it. Negative 6t is less than 12, okay? What's that? What's the matter?
No.
Okay, negative 60, not 60, 6t. Okay, the variable t, not 60, not 60. Okay, so at first, you might be like, well, we got to get t by itself, so we have to divide by negative 6, and that's perfectly right. That's what you got to do, divide by negative 6, okay? Just like back here, we divided by positive 4, we divided by positive 10, we divided by negative 6. These cancel, so we're left with t. 12 divided by negative 6 is negative 2. And then you only put the inequality symbol. You might think, well, what's new? You said there's nothing new here. What I just put up there is wrong, okay? It's not right, okay? Yes, we should have divided by negative 6. That's good. Yes, these cancel. That's, left with t. That's good. 12 divided by negative 6, that is negative 2. That's good. Where the mistake is it should have been t is bigger than negative 2. Now, why is it bigger than negative 2? Here's the one thing that's new in this section, okay? Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality symbol around.
Oh, so it's just,
Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip it around. Why didn't I flip this one around? I divided by a positive 4, okay?
So basically
How about back here? I have a negative right here, but I divided by a positive 10, okay? Be careful. Some students think I say, well, if there's a negative, you flip it. No, not just because there's a negative. If you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip it. Here, I multiplied by positive 5/4. Here, I multiplied, yes, there's a negative. We multiplied each side by positive 2, though, so we left it alone. So, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you flip the inequality around, okay? So we'd have an open dot at negative 2, shade to the right, okay? 13. Okay, so we have negative 10 is bigger than or equal to? Equal to what? Negative 2, is that a z or an x? Negative 2z. Okay, so we got to get z by itself. So we're going to divide by negative 2. These cancel. We're left with z. Now, true or false? We're going to flip the inequality symbol around. What do you guys think? True. True or false? We're going to flip it around because both of these are negative. Not because both of them are negative. They are both negative.
But you're dividing by
2
2.
is,
It's the 2 that is, okay? If it was just a positive 2 right here, even though there's a negative 10, you would not have flipped it around, okay? So, negative over a negative is a positive. 10 over 2 is 5. So we flipped it around. Now, let's take this real slow here. We flipped it around because we divided by a negative. Do you like the way the answer's written right now? Yeah. Why?
Backwards.
It's backwards. We like to have z first. So put z here and 5 here, and then what? Flip it again.
Flip it, yeah.
We flipped it twice this time. Why did we flip it the first time? We divided by a negative. Why did we flip it a second time? We didn't like the way it was written. We want to have the z first, okay? So we're going to have 5 is closed and shade to the right. All right, next one, get close to being done for today. 15. Okay, n over negative 3 is what? Bigger than or equal to 1. Okay. So we need to get n by itself. We got to get rid of the negative 3. We multiply by negative 3. We multiply by negative 3.
So we gotta swap this.
So we
symbol.
gotta what?
Swap this. symbol.
We gotta flop the symbol. Yeah, we gotta flip it around. Okay? So flip it around. These negative 3's cancel off with n. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. We gonna switch sides on this and stuff?
No.
We like this?
Yeah.
N's on the left, we like that. So, negative 3 is closed and shade to the left.
How many more to go?
Just about, probably 4 more.
Dang it.
All these aren't that long. 17, negative 8 is less than,
These are basically just what we did.
except for before we're adding, subtracting, now we're multiplying and dividing. Negative 8, negative 1/4 m. Negative 1/4 m.
It's just an upgraded version.
Yep.
It's
Okay,
simple.
so how am I gonna get rid of that negative 1/4 m? It's a fraction, so we listen, flip it, so times by, careful, not 4/1, careful.
Times by 1/4, positive 1/4.
Careful, it's not 1/4, it's negative 1/4. So, not 4/1, negative 4/1.
Can we use 0.25?
I would, if you want, I just think fractions might be easier.
Not really.
So,
Just
it's
do the
either
whole
way,
thing and
I would
then-
take either one. So negative 4/1, negative 4/1. These cancel, and we're left with m. Do I flip this inequality around?
Yeah.
We're
No.
timesing by,
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
why?
Because we're timesing by 1/4.
By, not 1/4,
Negative 1/4.
not 1/4, that's not what we're timesing by. Negative 4/1, negative 4/1. Either way, it's a negative. Okay, so we do flip it around. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 4/1 is just 4. 4 times 8 is 32. I'm gonna rewrite that though, I don't like m on the right. So put m is less than 32. Again, we flipped it twice. The first time because we times by a negative.
32 is in the middle and it points to the right.
Yep.
Yep.
Open or closed?
Open.
Close. Yeah.
Why is it open?
Because it's no equal sign.
No equal sign, no line.
No line, whatever.
Yep, whatever, I'll take any of those.
Looks like a Z.
Let's see, 17. Oh, there is no number 19. 3 more to go. There is no number 19. 3 more.
You could have just erased that.
Yeah, either way.
So 21.
21. 36 is less than 3y. Okay, 36 is less than 3y. Let's solve this thing. And you just, these you just have to solve. You don't need to graph. Sir,
Divide 3.
divide by 3?
Yep.
36 divided by 3 is 12. Do I flip this?
No.
No.
Why, we're dividing.
But you're not.
It's
It's not negative.
It's not negative. Now what if this 36 was negative?
Then we will. No, you still.
Because we're dividing by
Three.
positive 3, right.
We still gotta swap it.
Yeah,
So
we
let's
still gotta
swap.
swap it because-
We are gonna switch them because we want y on the other side, so y is bigger than 12. And you don't need to graph this one.
And open circle.
Open circle, shade to the right. If you were graphing them, but we don't need to graph them. 2 more.
Wait, these ones we don't graph?
No.
Not when you get to
you
23.
said that.
Okay, so 23. 2 is less than or equal to?
Who is this then?
Less than or equal to something. What does that say? Negative 2/9x.
Negative.
Negative 296.
Okay, so how do I get rid of that negative 2/9?
Why don't you flip it?
Negative, negative
flip it.
9
Flip it
to.
times.
What about it?
You flip it,
You
how do
flip it
you-
times.
no,
Add it to each side?
Times.
No, you
Times
the
to each
line.
side. So
Yeah.
times by negative 9/2.
Yep.
Which
Which is
is-
just,
8.
So times by
18.
negative 9/2. So what does that tell you?
18.
Swap it.
What time? Flop it. Yep. These cancel, so we're left with what on the right? X.
But
And make
isn't
2 a
it
fraction. 2 over 1. Let's times our tops and times our bottoms. What do we have?
negative 18
Negative 18
over
over
2.
2. What is 18 divided by 2?
Negative 1.
Negative 9 is less than or is bigger than or equal to x, which I don't really like. I'm going to say x is smaller than or equal to negative 9.
Swap it again.
is this the last one?
No.
Swap it.
We got one more.
One more. 25. Last one.
many
Okay.
questions are there on this one?
I think 22 total questions. It goes to 26, but we skipped a few of them here and there.
Yes.
So I've done 11 with you. You guys have 11 that you can do on your own. So
Okay.
25, 2x is bigger than 3/4. 2x is bigger than, 2x, make sure I wrote that down right. Hang on, 2x is bigger than 3/4? Yes, okay. So we need to get rid of, and I tell you what, when you're dealing with fractions, it's almost easier if everything is a fraction. I don't like fractions, but if I'm gonna deal with fractions,
Make that a
it's
one.
easier. So let's make two a fraction, 2 over
2 over
1. So how do I get rid of that 2 over 1? Yes, sir.
Divide,
Well,
no, times,
Times.
yeah,
Oh.
times, because that's already divided.
Times by what?
Fraction.
over two.
1/2.
we're gonna flip this inequality around?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Why?
because. there's the
Yikes.
X.
We're gonna flip this inequality around?
We gotta get X by itself.
Okay. Are we gonna flip this is what I'm asking.
Yes.
Wait, no, because
Yes.
that times are divided by
We
negative.
are.
You see any negatives anywhere?
No. there's
No.
negative.
There are no negatives anywhere, so they're not gonna flip this around. So, these all cancel off with x, times your tops, you have 3, times your bottoms, you have 8. Then what do you do?
I think that's it.
That's good.
It is definitely it. Okay, you got the rest of the hours, you guys click on answers. Please don't, I mean, if I find a whole bunch of people will fill in all the ones we skipped and got the assignment done, we'll start new material on Monday, okay? So, I mean, you got time that you guys can work on other things if you need
I
to.
broke my